Welcome back to the Popular Man Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. With me today, I'm my always loyal co-host, Cord, the king of chaos. What's up, Cord?
How you been? How you been? Captain Chaos in the building. Chaos is a ladder. I'm playing Sonic trying to get the Chaos Emeralds. How you been?
We have the one and only DeLon with us today. What's up, DeLon?
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Jordan.
We have the fan of the only undefeated team in the bubble. We got Cam with us. What's up, Cam?
Y'all already know what it is. Suns Nation. We repping.
And we have Jaquez, our basketball analyst, with us today. What's up, Jaquez? Jaquez is muted.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't even remember muting myself. All right. What to do, Jordan?
And you know what we do? We give you our takes on basketball, music, and everything in between. This is episode 105 of the Popular Man Podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all those fantastic YouTube things. If you're listening to us on podcast platform, know that you can watch us on YouTube, and also make sure you give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. We don't have any other announcements. Just know that T-shirts are coming soon. Popular Man T-shirts are in the works, and that will be happening. So stay tuned for that. So might as well go into the first topic of the afternoon. A hot topic in the hip-hop world was Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. They teamed up and released a single together named WAP.
WAP.
Which got everybody on TL talking. It was a hit. The song itself was a hit. The video itself seems to be getting a lot of traction. The song is projected to debut number 1 on the Billboard 100.
As it should.
As it should. Guys, how did you guys feel about WAP, the song, the video, and don't get too explicit on it?
God damn. So much for free speech. Hey, man. I love the video. I love the video. I love the video. I love the video. And I really love that video. But on okay. But on some real talk though, the song go crazy. Meg snap, Cardi snap. They brought the A game. I love the movie Baps. So if anybody do anything related to Baps, I'm gonna support this great movie. Go watch it if you ain't never seen it. The only thing that throws me off about the video is everybody being upset about the special guest.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I was
Normani,
pretty
right?
upset about.
Normani?
I was pretty upset about Normani too.
Man, I'm tired of them pushing the Normani agenda, but
DeLon, don't do this. Don't do this.
Cam and I took this from Cam, not you, DeLon. Come on now.
Don't do
man,
this.
I'll talk about the Normani agenda another time. But
Okay, there we go.
I got to hear this. I didn't know there was a Normani agenda.
let me tell you, Jordan.
Okay, go ahead.
My theory is that there's a Normani agenda. Why is she getting all these placements? Why do all these celebrities keep saying Normani is a hidden gem, blah, 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 and her music never does anything? She should have taken off after we got Camila Cabello out of the paint for being racist. Now she is still the 4th person in Fifth Harmony. Nobody knows that. All she is Tinashe that we can feel good about because she's dark-skinned. That's the only thing that Normani is. Why her songs never pick up traction? Nice person. She seems like a really nice person. Her music is average. She put out some bubblegum popper that didn't even pop up with the white people. And she's already ingrained in white culture because she was a part of Fifth Harmony. Why is she not more famous? She's got shouts from Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Rico Nasty, all these people. And she's like 50th on the Billboard charts with her single drop. Get Normani out the paint. That's everybody's friend. She is dark-skinned Tinashe.
I was with you, Delon. I was really with you, but you lost me.
I'm gonna say this. I see where you coming from, but I love Normani and Tinashe. But my number one thing is we gotta wait until she drop a body of work.
No,
I ain't gonna say she.
Stop it. Corey said last night, Delon, I agree with you, but on the podcast, I'm going to disagree.
Cap.
I'm calling this nigga out.
Damn, DeLon, you're a terrible actor.
Wow.
Went along with it. But I'm gonna tell you what, I don't know too much about Normani. I just know that she has been popping in terms of like people giving her shout outs, mad shout outs and things of that nature. So when I saw her in the video, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know that was her. She looks different every time I see her. She's just one of those people who just looks slightly different every time you see them. And I just like, she was dancing, like, oh, she's killing it. Then I got on Twitter like, oh, that was Normani. I said, oh, okay, cool. That makes more sense. It was just one random person dancing like that.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I did not know those Ruby Rose because she was in the video for like 2 nanoseconds.
I didn't know who that was. I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't either.
I didn't either. People said it, and I still don't see her in it. I don't know. Maybe I just don't know what she looked like. That might be really what it is.
How many times you watched it, Jordan?
I ain't watching.
Oh, good question. Good question.
I watched it 3 times. I feel like that's a reasonable amount.
Okay.
I feel like it's a reasonable amount. I know there's
volume up.
Yeah. I listened to the. I like the song. Like I thought
was
the
it
song
3 times back to back, or was it like?
Nah. I watched it like once at night. The next morning.
At night.
Hey, man. That song didn't come out at night. That song came out in the morning.
Oh,
No, that song came on at night. It came on at like 11, 12. I think. I woke up that next morning. It was, you know how you get tweets that says like, in case you miss it. There was tweets from like 3 a.m. in the morning. Niggas talking about, hey man, it's a WAP video going crazy. I'm like, it's 3 a.m.
Hey man, WAP wants WAP.
WAP wants the WAP. I see it.
Man.
Hey man, Jordan said he can't sleep till he see this video one more time. He woke up that morning. Okay, maybe 2 more times. Tough.
Relax.
Relax.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not the biggest fan of Cardi B's music. While I will admit that Cardi B she really made herself a star, or you can say Atlantic made her a star with her her debut album that came out a while back. Hey
man, all stars are made. Come on now.
Yeah, true, more or less. But I will say this. I didn't know what to expect when they first announced this. I thought I was going to absolutely not like it, just like I didn't like Hot Girl Summer, really. I didn't really like... did you like Hot Girl Summer?
I did not.
Okay, see what I'm saying? So I thought it was going to be something like that. Where I was
I don't think the world like Hot Girl Summer because like, it was Meg and Nicki, and it came out and everybody was like, oh, okay. And everybody... Cortez loved it. That's about it.
That's cool. Cortez loved it. I gotta ask him about this next time I see him, but that's the point I'm making. Where I thought it was gonna be like a cool moment for the two, like you see these two collab, but then ultimately the song wouldn't be that big of a deal. But from the sample, there's some horses.
Big deal.
That sample was hard, going along with them rapping. They flowed across the beat pretty well. I enjoyed both verses from both artists. After I finished the video, I'm like, this gotta go number 1. Like it has. I was very impressed. DeLon, give me some of your thoughts on the WAP video.
Not many thoughts on the video. Besides, we've seen their ass before. I don't know why Twitter was. But I do think that
it was both of them. DeLon,
huh?
Both of them.
Yeah,
both of them
right there instead of. I feel you. I get you. I really like Meg's flow. I really like Meg's performance. A little bit more than Cardi's, but Cardi did her thing as well. Not too deep of an announcement we can get for it because it's about throwing ass, but very good performance from both of them.
Let me say, okay, so I'm gonna ask y'all this. So this is a segment that I want to introduce, which is it's not a foreign segment, something that like a lot of different shows do. I'm gonna do something called fact or fiction. I'm gonna say a statement. I want y'all to tell me if it's fact or fiction. Guys, is Meg Thee Stallion the hottest rapper out right now? If this song goes number 1, it'll be her second number 1 single this year after partnering up with Beyonce and getting the Savage song number 1. Is she the hottest rapper right now? Fact or fiction?
Fiction, Lil Baby.
Lil Baby?
Yeah.
Fact, because
it's bigger than Black
Lil
and White.
Baby isn't doing the numbers that she is doing.
I mean, if we talking project wise, Lil Baby blowing high out the water. Big number 1. You get a Beyonce feature. So
That'll make her pretty hot, would it not? Now I'm not saying why she is or why she isn't. I'm not saying
you get a Cardi feature, and you get a Nicki feature.
It depends on what you define as like the hottest rapper out. What are you talking sales? You talking accolades, or you talking the number of quality songs they putting out?
Well, when we're talking hottest, we're usually talking about popularity. But hottest means like the most talked about person, the most sought out person, the person that people have on. Like, hey, I want this guy on my feature. I want this person on my feature, or somebody who's chopping the charts. But I guess in DeLon's sense, like they said, like compared to Lil Baby, Meg is on soon to be multiple number 1 Billboard tracks, which is a super hard feat to do. And then on the flip side, Lil Baby is on the charts, but his album outperformed the EP, which was EP. It was her.
But it's my question though: do those songs go number 1 if she don't have Beyonce Cardi?
Do them songs go number one without Meg?
And we would. I think so.
You think WAP would have went number one without Meg?
Bro,
No.
bro.
No way.
This my okay.
Did y'all see the video?
This is my thing. Cardi B had a string of hits just a year ago. String of hits.
2 years ago, the last year.
Oh yeah, 2 years ago.
All her solo music she was putting out was.
Yes.
What
was my thing?
Hold on. Time out.
Like that.
Time out. What were Cardi's last two singles, Core? How did they do?
Better than Meg's last singles. Like that's my whole point. Like
Meg's number one.
Meg's last single went number one.
I'm talking about the ones without features. Like we gotta remember, Meg was dropping music last year, and it was cool, but it wasn't the biggest thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're not gonna forget about the whole when her record label was trying to stop her song, and then she dropped that EP, and that shit was ass, and everybody
exactly.
Was
she dropped the whole EP, and everybody was like, "Oh,
no." Savage was doing really well by itself before Beyonce got it. When Beyonce jumped on, it propelled her number one. Now, Cardi's two singles weren't doing nothing at all for my.
But it's my thing. Cardi had Bodak Yellow. Cardi had Cardi had like 5-6 songs that was super, super hot. Well, what I'm saying is, if Meg don't get those features, it was go to. I look at it this way: it probably would took her years to get it on.
But Court, she did get the features.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. Look, and that's what I'm saying. Lil Baby hotter because when Lil Baby drop music by himself, it moves. When Meg do songs, it moves a little bit. But it's the fact that people saying we like you so much, we gonna give you a feature. I'm gonna give you a feature. I'm gonna give you a feature. It's like if we wake up tomorrow and then Jay-Z get Lil Baby a feature. Of course, it's gonna go high.
Lil Baby had a feature. It didn't go number one. Lil Baby's had a feature was Future. Lil Baby's had a feature with all these prominent artists that did not.
But that wasn't his height. He's literally at his height right now. He's at his height right now. Meg got those features while she's at her height. Like she's at the top of her popularity, and then she went and got those features. Lil Baby was on the come up when he got that Drake feature and that what's name. That's what helped put him on.
They were both in their second year. They were both in their second year. This is Meg's second year of prominence.
But you don't no matter when just because you're in your second year, it's not like basketball. Whereas you might not be your hottest to your fifth year. Meg's at her hottest right now is what I'm saying.
And that's my number one thing.
Lil Baby wasn't as hot as she is now.
Like she dropped the EP a couple months ago, and everybody was like, "Oh." And if she get a song, it pops up on TikTok, it charts really well, and then you get Beyonce, and it goes number one. Like we can't downplay Beyonce here. I love Meg, but we talking about Beyonce. But then, like I said, come on.
But then we say Cardi B. You can't give Cardi B all the credit for it going number one because
I'm not giving all the credit. Cole Wilder when he said that, he was definitely wild on there.
No, Cardi's last two singles. Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't say, well, she got number one because of the feature when Cardi's last two singles did not even.
The feature definitely helped because I think it was a whole because Meg was like everybody's talking Meg is bridging the gap between female rappers that's causing this divide. She got Nicki, she got Cardi. You know what I'm saying? There's this whole women empowerment thing, so it kind of all mixed together well for number one.
Well, what I'm saying is y'all making it sound like Cardi B is a bum out here. They pushed Cardi.
The thing is, all the stuff that y'all are saying, I don't like. The only disagreement is like y'all are saying why she is the hottest rapper, but saying like she can't be because these things are happening. Yeah, she got a Beyonce single. That makes not everyone's getting a Beyonce feature. She got it because she's one of the hottest rappers out right now. Cardi, 2 number one songs in 1 year. Nicki Minaj has not yet gotten 2 number one songs in 1 year. She just got her first one a bit ago.
Don't start this. Don't start the bars.
Lil Baby is hot. Earlier, I said he was the rapper of 20. I said the rapper 2020. So far, I said that earlier. You heard that, Court. But hottest rapper right now, you can talk about last year. We said right now, it's Meg Thee Stallion with these number one.
I mean, obviously, because she just dropped the song like yesterday or day before yesterday. Obviously, right now.
Well, not. I wouldn't say that because a lot of rappers drop songs the other day with her, but they aren't as hot. That's the thing about it. But I'm gonna ask you this one last question: fact or fiction? Female rappers are a powerhouse in hip hop now.
Huge facts. Yeah, huge facts.
I had someone push back against that on the TL the other day when I said it. I'm like, nah.
Wait, how?
I don't know. I just figured like they just don't. They feel like we're just like caught up in the moment, like, big, everybody talking Megan Carter right now, but they aren't really that big of a deal. But I'm like, there are 10 artists, there are 10 hip hop artists that have gotten a number one this year. 3 of them are women. 3 of them are women. That's in a predominantly male in a predominantly male genre for 3 of the 10 to make a number 1 this year be women. That's incredible. So shout out to Meg.
And I'm gonna say this: the best thing about seeing all these, regardless of who we think the hottest or not, I'm just happy they all working together. Because everybody always say, well, why do men get the looks? Because they work together. It's so many men, you ain't got no choice but to collab. So I'm happy to see all the female rappers finally coming together, putting their differences aside and making hits. And Cardi says she dropping that Ladies Like song on her album. So I'm ready to hear that. Yeah, I'm ready to hear it.
You hope they make a video for that too, Cord?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna say it's like with female rappers, like the visuals are just as important as the song. Like,
yeah,
like with most male rappers, like I don't really care. Like, I mean, you gonna drop a video, I don't care. I'm not trying to see them walk around in a circle with some bands. But like,
doing hand movements, Cord. Doing hand movements,
violin,
thumbing through the racks.
Wait, violin.
I'm trying to see that, like when women rappers, visuals are important. Like, and I'm gonna say this, That's another reason why that song went number 1. It's the visuals. Like if the song just dropped, it would have been a big song, but people want to see dance, and people want to see movement, people want to see the outfits, the wigs, the colors, the themes. Like all of that matters.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
Damn.
It did help propel it. Oh man, it's okay. So moving on to the first basketball topic of the afternoon, I want to talk to you guys about what transpired yesterday versus the Clippers and the Trailblazers. Give you some background. Yesterday, the Clippers and Trailblazers faced off in a game. I believe they played around noon. I think that's around when they played. For the Clippers side, Kawhi Leonard didn't play. He rested. And to give you some more context. No Pat, no Montrezl Harrell. To give you some context, Blazers got out early. Patrick Beverly, Damian Lillard got into it in the first quarter with Dame telling Pat Beverly, I want you out here. The game progresses. It's a pretty close game all game long, within like 5 to 7 points the entire time. The Clippers hang around despite not having those 3 players playing. Fourth quarter comes. Doc Rivers sits Lou Will with 9 minutes left after the Clippers go up 1. The game continues. 5 minutes left in the game. Doc Rivers sits Paul George. The Clippers are only down 5 with 5 minutes left. 3 minutes. Then it's 3 minutes left in the game. The Clippers are only down 3. Then Doc Rivers pulls Marcus Morris out the game. So now in the game are only third and second string players is Rodney McGruder, Landry Shamet,
Terrence Mann.
Terrence
Mann. It wasn't Reggie Jackson. It was Terrence Mann, Patrick Patterson, and JaMychal Green. From that point, for 3 minutes left on the clock. 3 minutes left on the clock. Clippers are down 3. The Clippers keep fighting, and eventually Rodney McGruder hits a 3 to put the Clippers up by 1. With only like a minute or so left in the game. The Trailblazers get the ball, go down. Dame gets fouled. Dame misses both free throws, which would have tied or put them up. Patrick Beverly, Marcus Morris on the sideline laugh because he missed both free throws. The Clippers retain possession of the ball, shoot free throws, go up. The Blazers get the ball back. Dame goes down, try to shoot a 3. Game is over. At that point, Patrick Beverly leaves the bench and does the wave celebration that Dame did to the Thunder last year at Damian Lillard as he walks off the court. Game over. Me and Cord are livid. Like
upset.
Me and Cord in the chat, you can ask the Lund because we wanted the Trailblazers to win this game because we want them to get the A seed. Sorry, Cam, so they can play against the Lakers. So we are in the party mad as hell for a solid 10 minutes, and then those Damian Lillard quotes come out, and Dame is throwing shots at Patrick Beverly and Paul George, saying that they acted that way because I beat them in 2014 and in 2018. And that's why they feel like they got to act like that. It's a sign of respect to me. After that, Patrick Beverly and Paul George take to social media to respond, and then Paul George, baby mama, and Damian Lillard's sister get into
Wife. Got the wife on there.
But I don't think they're married. I don't know if they're married or not yet. I don't.
They're definitely not married.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But I think they might be his fiance or whatever. But anyway. Well, I don't want to talk about what the women said because what they took shit too far. But
Huge fact.
I'd rather focus more so on what transpired between the two players. Guys, what do y'all make of this situation?
Me personally, I thought it was just, like kind of blown out of proportion. Literally, like I told Jordan, I listened to Patrick Beverly talk about Damian Lillard the other day on a podcast, and he said that Damian Lillard's the toughest cover in the league. You know, he definitely has a lot of respect for Dame. He said he know the day before he plays Dame, and he has to like sleep, like get enough sleep, do all the right things. You know, he's in for a long day, so there definitely is some mutual respect between the two. And I think everything just kind of got blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was both kind of corny on both sides of the ball for a regular season game.
I think.
Go ahead, Cal.
I was about to say, I feel like mutual respect might be a little overblown. I think Pat has respect for Dame. I won't say Dame has their respect for Pat because I mean it's Patrick Beverly.
You wild Cam. But I get what you're saying
Damn.
though. I do get what you're saying because like I said, like Jacquez said, I heard the same thing Patrick Beverly said when he talked about like, yeah, I think Damian Lillard's a hard person to cover. There's a lot of players that people would say are better than Damian Lillard. But you know, Patrick Beverly said, nah, the hardest person to cover is Damian Lillard. That's the hardest guy I've had. It takes a lot to guard the guy. He's really nice. And for me, Patrick Beverly did what I think, you know, what he does in a game. He does what any basketball, well, not any basketball player, not a basketball player.
But he does.
A lot do.
Yeah.
He talked trash during the game. Damian Lillard talked trash back because that's what you do in a game.
Right.
To my knowledge, though, I don't think PG said anything to the Dame the entire game.
That's what was me.
He was kind of he was going at it with Gary. And I think it was more so Dame was trying to take up for his rookie, you know what I'm saying, or his young guy. Yeah. And then I think they kind of said something towards the end. I think he was laughing with him at the end of the game. Because
PG was getting into Gary Trent, but then I had to go rewind it because I was like, you know what? Why is Dame mad at PG? Because I watched the game. I remember PG doing it at the end. I know Marcus Morris was on the sideline laughing with Beverly. I didn't even see PG. And so I went back and rewind the tape. It wasn't even Paul George waving at Dame. It was just Patrick. It was just Patrick Beverly doing that shit. He was the only one doing it. So that goes back to what I was saying that I thought was corny on Dame's part to go out his way to bring up what happened in the past and like, you know, attack or like, you know, make a stab at PG because y'all both, you know, y'all talking trash in the game. You lost the game, you know, on your own merit. Like you had a chance to win the game, and that's why I feel like, you know, there's no reason to take shots at the people who won. You know, you lost.
Man.
And I think it's because they asked him about it in the post game, and they was like, "Well, what you know, Patrick? You know how the reporters antagonize, and then they try to, you know, because he's probably mad at himself or whatever, and they just kind of caught him in the wrong time. I don't think it was nothing. Like I said, I think the women took it took it too far. Yeah, I don't think Dame. The comment, I don't think Dame initially was trying to be as disrespectful as he was trying to be when they got to social media. On social media, that nigga, he got real disrespectful.
Hey, he was fed up at that point.
I ain't gonna hold you. Stop running from the grind. That's hard. That's hard. There's no rebuttal. There's no real rebuttal to that. That's a hard comeback. Cancun on 3 was funny. Shout out to Beverly.
Hey, Cancun on 3 was hilarious. Y'all know how I feel about it, bro. I tweeted this. I said in the chat 500 times. He had one job, bro. Dame had one job. Kawhi didn't play. Pat didn't play. Trez didn't play. Doc Rivers said, "I'm taking everybody out. I'm gonna let the rest of the rotation come in. Dame, we want you to play the Blazers. We want you to be a thorn in their side. We want you to take them to 6 or 7 games. We don't know if you win. We don't really care. We just want you to slow them down. That's all I wanted. I want to see a good first round series from every single matchup in the playoffs. And all Dame had to do was hit 2 free throws. That's all he had to do.
I will say this.
At
the end of that game, Dame scored like the last 8 points. Before those free throws, he scored 8 points right before the end. And CJ had like 35 yesterday. They were hooping. I watched the play. I was like, all right, they finna play some good defense. They played good defense. They left Rodney McGruder open. Bro, they left a 23% three. No, because what happened was No, it wasn't that it was the bad defense. It was a defensive breakdown because they shot a shot and the Clippers got a long rebound, and when it's a long rebound, it's a scramble for the ball or whatever.
I'm gonna
And
say
that's when they
this.
decided to leave open. And I can't really be
I'ma say
mad
this.
at that. Like
They were screwed either way because either they was gonna have to go to him or they was gonna have to go to Jermichael Green. Jermichael Green been on fire, so I understand
exactly. That's why CJ
it.
chose. Yeah, that's why they chose. They chose to leave him open. I was like, well, he hit this shot. Shit, it just is what it is at that point.
Man.
But now, see, the thing is, they were down 1, and like I said, the game online, all Dame had to do is hit 1 free throw. He missed both.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable to be real with you.
And I'm gonna say this. And my main issue is you had one job was to shoot the free throws, but it's the fact that after the game you go, well, last year I sent PG home, and then 4 years ago or 6 years ago I sent Patrick Beverly home. You missing these free throws could potentially send you home. Stop worrying about the past. You need to worry about now. You were in a perfect position to close the game.
Aren't they still the 9th seed though? I was trying to. Everybody's acting like it's over. Aren't they still the 9th seed?
It's not over, but we don't know who Phoenix gonna lose.
Yeah, I'm saying that's the thing about it. Like, if they had won, probably never. That's I can't debate facts. 5-0, I can't debate facts. But the thing is, if the Blazers had won yesterday, they would have became the 8th seed. Now they have to play the 76ers today, and if they lose to the 76ers, the Suns and the
76ers without Ben Simmons.
And I'm gonna tell you what. No, wait, time out.
The Blazers Rodney McGruder. Shake hands to Mike Cook. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's what I'm about to say. They just lost to the Clippers without Kawhi, then PG quitting in the fourth, and all the other starters being pulled. They just lost to them now. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's at the end of the day, it's still like the shot that was hit. I ain't gonna just act like they just asked because they lost a game. You know what I'm saying? It was a close game throughout the entire game. I'm just not gonna just say, these niggas they're not good anymore. Oh, they lost this game to the Clippers. That's a wrap. Like
all I'm saying is this: I lost a lot of faith in them. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying this.
I don't agree with that though. I don't agree with
that.
I
W was set up on a platter, fam. Like all you gotta do is hit the free throws, and you are the HC. You got a much better chance. Now you gotta scrape even harder to get into the playoffs.
Keep this though. The Grizzlies been losing, and they've been playing. They've been playing very well along. Outside of those 2 free throws, they would have won them the game. Like I'm not. Yeah. I wouldn't be discouraged at all. Like I'm with y'all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
I'm saying, like I think I'm underestimating like the Sixers. Like I said, they are still a good team. Like
they're still a good team.
They have a better record
than
the Sixers.
They are definitely a good team. But like this isn't the time. Like right now isn't the time to get discouraged. Like if they go and lose to the Sixers, you know what I'm saying. Once they lose to the Sixers, then I'll be like, oh well, yeah, nigga, it's shit hitting the fan. But they haven't lost yet. Like it's still a very. They beat some teams they weren't supposed to beat. A lot of you know what I'm saying. The niggas they've already beaten in the bubble.
They beaten the
Rockets. It's not like it's not like they're just over with. They're not a bad team. It's the reason why people think that they can take the Lakers to 6-7 games. There's a reason for that.
I know this is a moment y'all all been waiting for. One time,
absolutely.
Let's go, Cam. Let's go. Cam is showing us his vintage Phoenix Suns slippers. Glorious. If you listen to the podcast, go see this on YouTube. You got to see this. Okay, so I want to tell you guys about the Red Hot Suns, who are 5-0 in the bubble. They have the
white hot.
They red hot. They are the 9th best offense in the bubble. They have beaten teams such as the Clippers. They have beaten T.J. Warren, the God. They've had some other pretty good wins as well. A lot of people count them out. I was one of those who didn't really see them getting there. Like look at the schedule, like how they gonna beat the Clippers? How they gonna beat this team and that team? But with the brilliant play by Devin Booker and the great play from DeAndre Ayton, who's looking like the legit number 1 pick now. Like a lot of people was like, he should have been number 1 pick. He's looking like the kind of guy who should have been number 1 pick all along. Cam, what's going right for the Suns for them to string off these wins right now?
All right, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. This has been the winning formula for the Suns. Our formula has been. I'm gonna say this: the bubble has been a blessing for us. For one, brought the team together like we've never been together before. I've never seen us play this type. Well, you know what? We led the league in assists all season, but we've been playing more together and we've been moving the ball so much better than we usually have. But I'm gonna tell y'all the number one thing that's not the number one thing, but one of the most important things for us that's helping us in this bubble. young teams, one of the biggest things that affects young teams is crowd and travel. Kids getting used to the league, kids getting used to, having, trying to go out and combine that with playing games and all the other stuff. But now when you're in a bubble, a condensed and controlled area where you have nothing to do but spend time with your teammates and play basketball, we've been able to focus on just that. Monty Williams, it has been a sensational addition as our head coach, and we've had the opportunity to just come together and play the way we should have been playing. When we start, you remember at the beginning of the season,
that was good.
We talked about the Suns, and then Aiden got suspended, and we're actually still playing good until after he got suspended. But the thing is, now that we're in this bubble, we're able to be together, play together, and it's just been magical to see us, especially Booker. Like, this has been a revelation. I'm so glad he's getting the acknowledgement that he finally deserved, because the dude is like an amazing player. Like, I think he's like he's top 20 in the NBA for me, and I would say he could get into the top 10 easily if he continues to make winning plays the way he's been making in the bubble. But it's just amazing to see the way we've been winning and the way we've been finally getting recognition that we deserve.
Cam, I got a question for you.
I'm listening.
So I've noticed y'all been playing Michael Bridges and Cam Johnson a lot lately. And they've been playing more minutes than Kelly. You think that's one? You think that's probably part of it too? That you're playing those guys who are better shooters over.
I was actually
don't hear this.
So the thing is, with Kelly Oubre in the lineup, I feel like because we gave him a new contract this offseason, we've been feeling obligated to get him some shots on offense. And it also was helpful to take some of the pressure off Booker to score so much. But I mean, Booker, he's got his Mamba mentality going right now. He's at a point where he's like, give me the ball and get out the way, send me a screen, and I'm going ISO. But like Booker, right now, he's just hot right now. And when you got somebody who's hot and who can get hot the way Booker can, sometimes it's better to just have shooters around him rather than to have another person to take the load off him, because they need that load on them to show who they really are. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, I like Oubre in the lineup for the long term, like saying like an 82 game season. But in a condensed schedule like this, I would love if Oubre could take if we were to have him, like moving forward in the playoffs, I would love to see him take a reduced role, let Booker get 25, 30 shots up, or maybe not even that many, but let him get a lot of shots up, and just be a shooter, be a complimentary star or co-star.
I'm gonna tell you what, that boy Booker is shooting close to 50% on the year as a. How old is he? 23? He 23?
Yeah, 20. Might be 24. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he's
23. He's 24. He's like a year. I think he's a year older than I am.
He's 20. He's 24 right now, shooting close to 50% from the field as a guard as the lead guard on a team, taking the most shots on the team. That's ridiculous efficiency for anybody of any age and any circumstance. I wanted to Jacquez's point, talking about how Kelly Oubre is not currently in the rotation because he's hurt. And Michael Bridges and Cam Johnson? Cam Johnson rotation. One thing I noticed about Cam Johnson and Michael Bridges and Cameron Payne.
Cameron Payne's been hooping. He's been hooping.
He has been hooping. After being one of the worst basketball players in the league, he is
come on now.
He was pretty bad before this bubble.
Man, he was Russell Westbrook breakdancing partner. You ain't got to do him like that.
My point exactly. The playoff with Jacquez is asked about Michael Bridges and Cam Johnson taking the place of Kelly Oubre on the Suns. He mentioned taking the offensive load off. I'm gonna ask you about the defense. How big of a difference do you think those two are making on the defensive end? Because when I watched the Suns play against the Clippers, Michael Bridges was stripping balls, batting balls and getting up the court, and he was really giving Kawhi some problems. How big of a difference do you think those two are actually making, not just on the offensive side, but the defensive side?
And this is I'm gonna acknowledge what you're saying, but this is the thing. When you got a young player who's fighting for minutes, because at any given moment, Mikal Bridges doesn't know when he's gonna get snatched out the game for a bad cut, and so you never know. But I can appreciate the way Bridges is playing right now, because if you watch yesterday, and if we all have watched the Heat play this season, we know Duncan Robinson is lethal from the 3-point line. And when I tell you they ran Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero off screens all night, and Mikal Bridges was running around there, I know he was exhausted after yesterday's game. But it's crazy to see the amount of defense Bridges has been able to play and the hustle that he's given us. And this is this is the player we expected him to be when we drafted him. But people get complacent, bad coaching. Front office isn't necessarily doing their job. But now it feels like we finally got the train on the track the right way, and hopefully this isn't just a flash in the pan. This is something that can be sustainable.
I think Cam Johnson and Bridges, both of them being one of them being a Villanova guy and the other being a North Carolina guy. They're kind of bred off defense. I think that the fact that they're getting the consistent minutes and the opportunity now to kind of show that they can really play and that they really gonna give it all out there. I think that's been another big thing for them.
And we can't forget about the Bulldogs, Javon Carter out of Prest, Virginia.
Yes, sir.
Hey man, hey, you know what? I owe Javon Carter an apology because when he came out the what's the name it. I said, man, I don't see this nigga.
You was hating.
Long. I was definitely. I was like, man, he like a 6 foot guard. Not really just really lead at anything besides defense. I don't know, but hey, shouts out to Javon Carter.
I'm telling you, Javon Carter gives us fits every time we play him. He gives us problems every time we play the Suns this year.
Also, Cam, what do you think the missing pieces for the team now?
That's a good question. I think at this point we seem to be like the way the NBA is going right now. Power forwards don't really seem to be a big thing. But I said earlier this season when we were talking about trades at the deadline, I would have loved to see the Suns go after Aaron Gordon. I feel like he would fit perfectly with us. But I mean, I would just say
I think y'all need to upgrade at point guard. I like Rubio, but that nigga
want somebody younger.
His confidence, younger in his confidence, like he takes some shots that I don't think he should be taking sometimes. And he does that he does that often. I'd be like, man, that ain't it.
And a lot of times it's bad timing too.
Yeah, like that last shot before the Clippers, he took that shot that Michael Bridges got the offensive rebound on. Mm-hmm. He the one took that shot and missed, and I was like, yeah, this nigga right here.
I'll give it up to Rubio though, because he has shown how much this team needs a point guard, a competent point guard. He has been at least that, and that's something that the Suns have been missing for a long time. And I think he's helping contribute to their winning status because he's actually someone who can get Booker the ball in his spots and also get the ball in his spots. I remember
when y'all had like 50 point guards.
Yeah,
remember that.
Had 50 point guards, but they weren't point guards. You're talking about when like Isaiah Thomas and then Eric Bledsoe.
I'm going Dragic.
Yeah, embarrassment of riches. Now you're broke as hell. But so I'm gonna ask y'all this: last time before the season ends, we're like 3 games away before the end of this bubble season. Who do you guys taking to be in the play-in tournament and also get the AC? Who are y'all all taking right now?
I like Blazers at 8, Suns at 9, and I think Blazers win it out. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion. I don't think the Grizzlies win another game.
So, tell me, Cam, what are the last 3 games for the Suns? I'm blanking on who they are.
All right, so we play I know we got the 76ers, we got the Mavericks, and the Mavericks are the last game, I know for sure. Then I think we played 76ers game before last, and the next one is against.
The next game is Monday against the Thunder.
The Thunder, yeah. So we got Thunder, 76ers, and Mavericks.
Dang.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
With the Nets.
I mean, Blazers play the same. They got basically the same schedule, except if you take out they play the Nets instead.
Yeah.
So the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are losing as we speak to the Raptors. The Grizzlies will also have to play the Celtics on Tuesday.
Yep.
Oh man!
They'll also have to play the Bucks on Thursday, but the Bucks might rest. Because that'll be the Bucks' last game in the bubble.
Hey man, NBA played them. I ain't gonna hold you.
No, that's how the schedule was looking before the.
They had the hardest schedule in the remaining NBA regardless. So
yeah. So I think I'm going because the Grizzlies have so much wrong with their team besides just their defense. The fact they lost Jaren Jackson, and now it's even more pressure on Ja to perform every single game.
And Winslow. Don't forget Winslow.
And Winslow being hurt.
And the Pelicans, them niggas just too inconsistent, bro.
They just call a spade a spade. They're just bad. They're bad. A lot of. About to say a lot of the problems they had a lot of problems those guys had as Lakers. They're now on the Pelicans. They had them same problems that they're now, where it's just bad defense. That's it.
Hashtag let Zion play.
Huge facts. I'll say that.
Free Zion to Zion free. But I'm going to go Trailblazers get the 8th seed with the Suns. I don't man. They got some tough games to win. I think they had to win like 2 to eclipse the Grizzlies. I'm sorry, Cam. I'm gonna go on my gut. My gut tells me Blazers 8, Grizzlies 9, and unfortunately the Suns gonna be 10. That's what I'm thinking.
What's interesting is that we haven't brought up the Spurs yet, and the Spurs are literally only a half game.
They're close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they about to beat the Pelicans. I was just looking at that.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. They're not a half game behind us. They're the same. They had the same. Well, not the same record. We got one more win and one more loss than them.
Oh God.
So in reality, the same record. But as of right now, I'm on a high. I'm taking the Suns. Somehow we keep winning. We go 8-0. Trailblazers lose, and we get the 8th seed, and Trailblazers get the 9th seed. We beat them out. Trailblazers lose today. We pass them. We come to 9th seed. Grizzlies lose today. We only half game behind the Grizzlies, and at that point, we surpass the Grizzlies tomorrow. Get the 8th seed. Trailblazers get the 9th seed, and we beat them one in the second game of the play-in tournament, and we go to the playoffs.
Talk to these niggas, Cam.
Cam, you have sold me on your. I'm with you, man. It's Phoenix out here. We rock with the Suns.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
We rock with the Suns right now.
That sounded super good. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm Team Phoenix.
I will at least say that Phoenix will surpass the Grizzlies and be the 9th seed. I will say that and be in the play-in tournament. That's what I want. Because like the Grizzlies are busted. Like with Jaren Jackson out, it's not gonna be fun to have them in the play-in tournament. It's not gonna be fun to have them in the 8th seed.
Yeah.
I'd much rather play-in tournament be Blazers and Suns. I want the Suns at this point to get it because I feel like I'm proud of Booker and what they're doing. I'd rather them get it, but we'll see.
Where the heck is LaMarcus? Bro, the Spurs started DeMar DeRozan, Derek White, DeJounte Murray, and Lonnie Walker.
Jesus.
What the hell going on?
Micro ball.
What the hell? And they beat the hell out the Pelicans. That's sad. What the?
Hey, that says more about the Pelicans than it does about the Spurs. I ain't gonna hold y'all. But DeLon, you ready for that over and under?
Oh wait, real quick. Cam, you ain't say it, so I'm gonna say it for you. He ain't on who's wild, but he wild. Draymond Green, the ops out here. He tried to disrespect your franchise, turn him to a pack.
Hey, I try to stray away from negativity. I try not to be Dame and Lillard the podcast, but Draymond got what he asked for, $50,000 extension. He paying my salary.
I hate that. I hate that's a slap on the wrist. I feel like he did that intentionally, and he knew that he was going to just get fined. And I think that's why he tweeted the laughing emoji.
Because go ahead.
I was saying that's why he tweeted the laughing emojis on Twitter because he knew he was going to get away with it.
And they said they were like, "Are you tampering?" He said, "Maybe."
Yeah, he knew he was. He knew he was. I don't respect it.
Man, but Cam, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. D-Book being from the coast, being from Mississippi, I ain't gonna stand until this little last stretch. I've been thinking the same thing, big dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. To this last little stretch I've been on, y'all prove me wrong right now, but up to this point, I've been like, man,
you wanted
the crazy thing is, if Ayton is never suspended from 25 games, they probably AC right now. They would be the AC right now. 25 games, that's like 2-3 wins. They could have got 2 or 3 wins if they had Ayton during them games. They definitely be the AC right now if it wasn't for that.
Everybody talking about some trade D-Book, but they want him to go to New York. What's the difference?
So what?
At least he can possibly make it to the playoffs with the Suns.
If anything, trade him to the 76ers and let him and Joel Embiid be a dynamic duo. Shaq and Kobe 2.0.
Okay.
And let Ben Simmons flourish in Phoenix.
What my love?
I would like that.
My love for Booker is so real that I want to see him in a better situation, but I like the Suns, so I believe want the Suns to be the better situation that he can be in.
I think
I know, but it's just such a long time, bro, that they've been bad, and like he's been good for what is it? This is fourth year being like really, really good, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it just takes time though, because this is a young team. So like, the help you're drafting to help him are young players too. So you got to wait for them to come into their own as well. Unless you
right.
unless you sign.
I mean, they botched that though. They botched, Jaren, not Jaren. What's the guy's name? Josh Jackson and Dragon. But yeah.
But it looks like they're making up for it though with Aiden and Michael and Cam. So I'm gonna go on to the next topic. I'm gonna talk to you guys about Black Thought and Common. I almost forgot about both of these guys this week and what transpired. I think Cord and Delon will be able to speak more on it than I will be able to. But a nice young woman came out and said that
young woman.
Common was very what's the word I'm looking for? Inappropriate. Tried to force himself on her in her sleep while they were in a relationship together, and says that this is behavior that's not uncommon for him, no pun intended. In the same week, it's also been alleged that Black Thought has had a ghostwriter for majority of his career, and that he doesn't actually write his music. Guys, how did you receive this news about Black Thought and Common and the allegations against them?
First thing, I just want to revoke that. Yeah, I said at the beginning of this segment, did not know it's gonna take that turn. It's not. I was expecting a single or something. I saw some a single or album or something. I'll take that back. All right, let me revoke that right now. But y'all can continue. Y'all can go. I just want to make that
Okay. Oh god, I'm so confused when he said yeah.
Because he didn't know. I figured he didn't know, and when he said it, that's why I just completed what I had to say. I think he was going to figure it out by the end of it. But I'm gonna ask you this, Corey. Give me your thoughts on Common situation.
Man, when I saw, like, you know how it is when you see some news, you like, no, this can't be. So I went, I watched like all her IG lives, all the videos. Man, I believe what I am. I believe her. Like, Jaguar, right? Philly legend, Neo Soul legend. She was with. Oh wait, did you see the other stuff too?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I saw a lot, so you gotta be specific. What are you referencing?
Basically, she was saying she was in a relationship with Common. Common had a history of being a little aggressive towards women. She was also saying that Talib Kweli was a perv, which I think we all kind of see. That came out until like last week. So, hey man, and everybody's wearing their kufis and they olive green scullies with the brims and talking about Mama Africa and all this, and they terrible, man. It's terrible, Elijah. I don't even know what to tell you. Like when I saw it, it's like, I want to be optimistic. I want to be like, well, maybe it wasn't. It is what it is, fam. Yeah. Like, then she came out and said that the Roots was like cheating folks out their money when they was doing music with R. Kelly. They was bringing girls from middle schools and high schools to the studio to them, and she was pretty much saying that like everybody in the city knows this. Everybody knew what they was doing. Everybody knew what they were doing to the women. Everybody knew what they had going on, and nobody wanted to say nothing because they was rich and famous. And that was pretty much the whole point. And I believe it. Like,
I mean, like this, it's been so many cases of these kind of people abusing their power and mistreating women. That it's disappointing, not surprising. I'm disappointed in the Roots. I guess I won't, and I am kind of surprised too. It's all sad all around. It's so crazy. The Roots were recruiting young girls to give the R. Kelly man. And Jaguar was specific to say middle school too. She said middle school in that video. That's the most appalling part.
She was with them in the studios with them, on tours with them. She was with them the entire time, and she even like said herself like she didn't play a part of it, but she didn't try to stop it because she wanted to keep her career.
Nah, she complicit. Like, if you witnessing
exactly.
She tried to make herself seem innocent, but just like the people in like the R. Kelly documentary, it's like, I wasn't the one doing it, but I was seeing it, and like, you waited all these years. Like, if you had said something, those girls, more girls wouldn't have been targeted. So,
and to me, it just goes to the point. If the woke rappers was doing this, just imagine what everybody else had going on. And we gotta think about it. everybody did music with R. Kelly. R. Kelly was one of the biggest artists out, one of the best writers out. If you wanted to work with him, you had to meet his demands. And if that was a demand, who all met that? Who all did that?
Man, I don't even want to know what demand Space Jam met to get R. Kelly on the set. But,
man, you know what? After last year's All-Star game, when Common came out the weak ass raps, I ain't trusting since then. Yeah, I knew he was up to some shit.
But the crazy thing is, you know what started all this?
What's that?
She said all of this happened because one of her close friends, I forgot. Yeah, his name was Malik B. And she was saying that he died and nobody from Philly wanted to show him no love. So she was like, he wrote, I'm going to say that she didn't necessarily say that he wrote Black Thought lines. She was saying like he was such a good rapper that he would have lines and forget about them. And then other people would take them. So she was kind of saying like he used to help Black Thought write, and then Black Thought would take his own lines and he wouldn't even remember because he was in and out of rehab. He had problems and stuff. So he had a lot of music, but he wasn't making music no more. So she was looking at it like he helped y'all find the roots. He was one of the original founders. Y'all don't want to show no love. Y'all don't want to give him no sign. Y'all won't pay him no money. This, that, and the third. And that's what made her, just open the floodgates to let it all out.
Well, as a big Black Thought advocate, how do you take these allegations against him having a ghostwriter?
Nah, I can't see it. To be honest, I just can't see it because, and then allegedly, like it stopped around 2001, but Black Thought has just been exquisite since 2001 as well, unless it just has a bevy of God level ghostwriters. I don't know, and it's weird that like that's the reason why she decided to say that stuff. Now, everything I'm saying has nothing to do with the stuff with the middle schoolers. But it's weird that she said that stuff about the ghostwriting because like Black Thought was one of the that's how I found out that he died because I saw Black Thought post about it. That was kind of strange. It's like he wasn't showing any love, but but yeah, I just can't see that as true.
You don't think he was stealing no bars?
Nah.
Hey man, every rapper been accused of stealing some bars, man.
Every rapper been accused.
I ain't gonna lie, Cord. That nigga bars be a little too complex for him to be reading off a sheet of paper.
Black Thought bars be connected and complex for a solid 13, 14 bars. Like the entire verse all connects to one thing. So if he's stealing bars, that nigga stealing songs. I just can't see him stealing like a whole ass song.
I'm gonna say this: Black Thought one of the best rappers ever. I'm not taking that away from him. It don't mean he stole nothing. I ain't saying he's stealing entire verses.
Now, granted,
what were we saying right now? Are we saying verses, or are we just saying she's saying he took a couple bars? Obviously, everybody's that's kind of hard. Let me use that.
I was like, when I saw her IG post, she was saying like he used to write. But then when she like actually did a video, she was like, well, he had so many songs that everybody would hear his verses from 4-5 years ago and then take bits and pieces out. And to me, I felt like, you know how it is when you typing something out and it sounds wilder than what it really is, then when you explain it, it makes more sense. I think it's one of those.
Yeah, because like I was talking to DeLon and Mero and I was like, I don't know how much I buy this because like, okay, let's use Drake as an example. It was like when his situation happened and Meek Mill exposed him, it was like, oh, okay, I was laughing and joking. I thought it was funny. I didn't wholeheartedly believe it until I heard the reference tracks and those.
Oh my god!
I'm hearing like word for word some things like that Drake ended up putting the actual in the song and things of that nature. But like, and then also from that point on, Drake hasn't actually rapped in that similar manner really since then. So it makes me believe like, okay, that's true. Black Thought, on the other hand, kind of like how DeLon said, has been rapping at a near elite level, or not no near elite level.
It is elite
for decades. Like there hasn't been like a point where it's like, I wonder what happened to Black Thought. He ain't rapping like he used to. So if he was fighting and using somebody else's words and bars for a stretch of time, that it would have been a lot more apparent in the music when he stopped doing such, which what she said he did.
What I'm gonna say is,
stopped in like,
you know how Jay-Z come out and he throw a Biggie line in every now and then.
Yeah.
But imagine if you're a rapper and you doing it for an artist that the majority of people on earth ain't never heard. Is it stealing? Or are you paying homage and just not giving a little credit? You see what I'm saying?
And another thing is, like, they're in a group. So I really doubt that the Roots create music by everyone going to separate rooms and then let's all come together and record. Like, I'm sure there's people like helping each other. I'm sure Black Thought threw some ideas around. I'm sure everybody threw some ideas around. But I can't. Ghostwriter.
But see, she was saying that he was one of the founding members of the Roots. That's what she was coming out saying. So she was like, y'all used to be in the studio. Y'all saw him come in and say, nah, do this, that, third, da, 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 da. That's what she was saying.
I'll say it's why I would say it's wrong in how they treated him. In the way if she's correct in the way that they treated him and didn't know, and she would know more so than anybody else except members of the Roots. If she's writing that, then they are completely wrong. But like I said, in terms of ghostwriting allegations, I don't think it's that big of a deal that she initially made it out to be.
I mean, it's Black Thought. I can't take nothing away from Black Thought.
No, but the biggest
thing is, even if he had ghostwriters, that music's still hitting. I'm still gonna listen to the project. I'm sorry.
For sure, it just knock him down in terms of like who he is as an MC if he wasn't writing his own stuff. But
I don't even think about it. That mean I would have to say Eminem is better. I'm not doing that. I can't do that.
I know Eminem.
It wouldn't sit right with my spirit. It wouldn't sit right with my spirit. You telling me I would have to wake up one day and then say that Eminem the only rapper that's writing his bars? I would rather die.
All right, now, Cord.
I'm just saying.
As every day passes by, man, we find out about another nigga had a ghostwriter, so I wouldn't.
Bruh, if I find out that Jay-Z ain't right, the verse to the Evils, I'm not listening to hip hop no more. I'm done.
Man.
I'm out. I'm out.
Speaking of ghostwriting and ghost producing.
Hey,
it's finally time for the over and under presented to you by DeLon, where he presents us a topic, and we debate whether or not it's overrated or underrated. Let's hear it, DeLon.
So today's topic is on one Dr. Dre. Shout out to Grant for the idea. Dr. Dre started gaining attention as a DJ in the world-class Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew, jokes aside, did garner local success with appearances on various Billboard or subsets of the Billboard charts. But after beef with the Wrecking Crew over creative direction and bail money situations, Dr. Dre then joined local businessman Eazy-E on his new label, Ruthless Records. Together, Dre, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, DJ Yella, MC Ren, Professor X formed NWA. NWA became known for their lyrics depicting the realism of street life in Los Angeles and as well as the growing racial tensions in the late 80s and early 90s. The group's lyrics were written by Ice Cube, MC Ren, and DOC, while also being performed by everyone else. Dr. Dre and DJ Yella allegedly handled the group's production, although how much of it Dre produced has come under scrutiny in recent years. After the success of the second album and splitting from Ruthless Records and NWA, Dre then took his talents over to New Death Row Records, headed by another local businessman, Suge Knight. His first project on the label was The Chronic, a landmark album in hip-hop due to its influential production style known as G-Funk, as well as the introduction of Snoop Doggy Dogg, Daz Dillinger, Lady of Rage, Nate Dogg, and many others. The album had singles such as Nothing But a G Thing, Fuck With Dre Day, and Let Me Ride. The album also debuted at number 3 on the Billboard charts and has sold over 3 million copies in the U.S. It is now in the Library of Congress and number 138 on Rolling Stone's Best 500 Albums of All Time. Between his first and second albums, he helped produce for albums like Doggy Style, the single California Love, and the song No Diggity. A few years after leaving Death Row and starting his own label, a few years later, he left Death Row and started his own label, Aftermath Records, Aftermath Entertainment. There he signed emerging artist Eminem and produced his debut album, the Slim Shady LP. After that, Dre put out his second album called 2001, which features songs Still DRE, Forget About Dre, The Next Episode, and What's the Difference. This album debuted at number 2 and sold 500,000 copies first week. It's here that we hear stories about how large majorities of Dre's production around this time came from a bevy of producers in Dre's production team, but Dre received the credit anyway. A notable member of this production group was Scott Storch. After this point, Dre took very important roles in the careers of artists like 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar, and many others, not to forget that Eminem became one of the highest selling artists of all time amongst any genre of music. And all music stuff aside, we cannot forget about his Beats headphone business that then turned into the $3 billion sale to Apple Music. Dr. Dre is regularly regarded as one of the greatest producers of all time, but receives heavy criticism about how much of the stuff he actually produced. So, my fellas, is Dr. Dre overrated or underrated?
Underrated, man.
Before we really get into it, I'm always blown away when you give us these numbers from the past, and like the biggest number that to surprise me, well, not surprise me, I just think it's so crazy, is he sold 500,000 and debuted at number 2 on Billboard. That's nuts. That's like doing 500,000 in this day and age definitively would get you number 1, like easily, like every single week, like except maybe if Drake releases or if
Taylor Swift.
Maybe
Taylor Swift last week.
Oh, so he lost it to Taylor Swift?
Pretty sure. I think
absolutely.
Like
that's tough.
900K or something.
Bro, if you sold 100K, you was a flop in 2000. That's crazy.
Record. You just said that Dr. Dre was underrated. Why?
Man, I look at it this way only. You can come out and say, oh, did he produce these tracks? Did he not? Well, we know he had ghostwriters. It don't really. I mean, at this point, it don't matter no more. I'm gonna give him credit for this thing and this thing only. He gave us a superstar in 3 different eras. Who else has done that? Not a lot of people.
Can we go through and name those 3 superstars?
He gave us Snoop. He gave us Em. He gave us 50. He gave us Kendrick.
Yeah. Oh, that's those are some pretty.
I can't think of nobody else who's done something close to
super stars.
Yeah.
And all of you have M who's been able to do. Now he didn't do a million a week, but he's been a platinum selling artist majority of his career. You got 50 who was one of the highest selling artists of all time in terms of like putting out selling an album 1 million a week, which is that's a hard feat for any artist. Snoop Dogg was very successful and still has a very long career. He's still succeeding. And Kendrick Lamar, who's like been one of the cornerstones of hip hop this generation. And Dr. Dre's been involved with all of them. I don't know if I don't know. I'm just going to take the easy right out, and I don't know if I can call him overrated or underrated at all. Like in terms of his production, pretty much defined what many people thought was West Coast music at one point. Like if you heard Dr. Dre beat, you thought of West Coast. Like if you were thinking of West Coast, you thought of Dr. Dre. I feel like his name and his sound was synonymous with West Coast, and I think that's something you can't. I feel like that's something you can't mitigate his impact on that style. And I also like the fact that like a lot of his beats are reused, resampled, and used as freestyles today because of how great they were. His most recent stuff, when he works with an artist, I'm not that crazy about. It's cool. For a name of his stature, his production isn't all that great in the present. As in, like, I go back and listen to him, like, okay, this is cool, this is good, but there's a lot of producers who are a lot better. But I won't call him overrated for the simple fact that I don't feel like there's a lot of people just screaming to the heavens that Dr. Dre's the best producer of all time or saying that he's better than a lot of the other guys. So I guess I'll be more so on the part of he's underrated.
I'll take it as I feel like Dr. Dre was when we have these careers that span 30 years at this point, we can't look at the last 5 years and be like, oh, he fell off, he's overrated. So that's especially the conversation with Dr. Dre. Even though I really love the Compton album, maybe not all for Dr. Dre, even his last album I thought was really good. I do think it's funny though that now Dr. Dre is more known as an engineer rather than a producer. Everyone's like such a perfectionist. These cuts, blah blah blah. His music's so clean, rather than the music that he's producing. But yeah, I might say I couldn't call him overrated. I might side with Jordan because just of what he has contributed to hip hop. Maybe even if he didn't produce like the beat for each of the songs that he is known for producing, he definitely had an impact on those songs. He definitely had an impact on pulling it together. And he definitely gave us 4 of the biggest artists of all time, one of the biggest rappers of all time, de facto every statistic category that you can look at. And still, we wouldn't have had NWA without him. All that being said, we would not have had NWA without him. Go ahead, Cam.
I was just about to say, and that kind of speaks to something we talked about when we were doing our top rappers of the decade, and just the biggest thing, but influence. Like, and that's something I like to take into account when we talk about this stuff, because like you could like not be the greatest artist of all time and still be extremely influential, and that's what Dr. Dre has been. So
Sure,
I'm agree with y'all.
All right. Let's look
When
at
you
that.
look at
All
the-
of us.
If you look at the last 30 years, like at what point, I don't think you can go like a 5-year span in the last 30 years where the biggest rapper at some point was not a Dr. Dre product.
Exactly.
Well, look at this. All agreeing that he's underrated. You love to see it.
Now I will say this: I got to hold two things against him though. I can't let this slide.
Here we go.
It was a lot of cap in the NWA movie. He made sure United look like a super villain, which I don't appreciate.
So wait, Suge Knight not super villain?
Where's Suge Knight's only fan?
Only.
And two, he made us hear that "I'm a Young Black Man" song, and I ain't gonna never let him slide for that.
Did he really produce that? I need to see some credits.
So, hey man,
Are you saying a Dr. Dre
Grant
credits
told
would
me
be
that,
accurate?
and I'm holding it against him. I don't know if it's facts or not, but I'm holding it against him. He
Grant-
feel like he was a part of it.
Grant is the only source for that. I've literally not heard anybody else say it because somebody confirmed that before I start saying that it's fact. I need to know.
Oh my god!
All right, so let's move on to the next topic. I want to talk to you guys about not Brandon Ingram, Ben Simmons. I want to talk to you guys about Ben Simmons, who recently had a subluxation on his kneecap, and he had to undergo surgery, and he had to leave the bubble. It's pretty much, he's pretty much done for the season, unless the Sixers make a deep playoff run. LOL. Then he will be able to come back and return sometime this playoffs, but only under them circumstances. Guys, what's next for the Sixers?
Do I have to be the one to say it?
I already said in the earlier episode, man, they got to make that trade.
Thank God. I'm
Him
glad I had to be the one to say it.
And they got to find the Sixers need, if they going to keep either one of them niggas, with the person they got to trade for, it has to be some type of perimeter-oriented player that can shoot.
Not named Devin Booker, by the way.
Yeah, not named Devin Booker.
Okay, not including Devin Booker.
Wait, but Jacquez, which one do you trade? I made my decision. Don't stand with it. It hurts me to say it. I think Embiid got to go.
You think it's Embiid?
I think it's Embiid
Man,
because you got Al Horford. Because you're not gonna trade Al Horford for nobody. So you got to keep him there. So you got to keep Ben Simmons with the pieces. He's stuck there forever. They getting all 5 of them years.
I honestly,
you know what? Yo, Mike, right?
I think you
got to go.
You probably get a lot more for Embiid. So
that's exactly what I was about to say. I think the trade is gonna come down to who they can get more for.
Yeah, got to be Embiid.
It's kind of crazy because I didn't think we'd get to the point where Embiid would be worth more for the simple fact that Embiid keeps getting hurt. But Embiid has actually been pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Like I'm beating on wood, Sixers fans. Trust me. I don't want to
break your shin today.
Yeah, I don't want to. Please stop because he is injury prone up until this point.
Yeah.
So I think they're getting more back from the Sixers. The Sixers are going to go into the playoffs. It looks like they overtake the Pacers in the standings, it looks like they will be playing the Celtics in the first round.
Sheesh.
Their projected starting lineup looks like it'll be Shake Milton, Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and Joel Embiid. Now the Sixers, when Ben Simmons and Embiid without Ben Simmons has been better offensively. And his offensive rating has been higher, and the defensive rating for the team has been lower with him without Ben Simmons, which makes sense because without Ben Simmons on the court, he has a lot more space. He can actually post up. He doesn't have to chuck threes. It'll be interesting to see how big of a boost he gets number-wise without having Ben Simmons on the team, but ultimately that team isn't equipped to beat teams in the playoffs. So if they had to play against the Celtics, it's going to be a hard-fought series, but the Celtics going to get them out of here. But my prediction is it won't trade Ben or Embiid in whatever the offseason is, not summer, but whatever this fall. They will not be traded this fall. But Brett Brown gone.
Oh, absolutely.
That's gonna be the first move. He's gone.
I still think you got to train.
I want to know in what scenario do you think that both of them can fit together?
It's all dependent on Ben getting an outside shot. Like
that's not realistic.
I know.
That's why
it's gonna take years.
It's like just wasting time at this point. Like you just kind of just waste. You just kind of in idle. Like we're good enough to take teams to 7 games, but not good enough to win those 7 games and go to the finals. So like, are we just okay with being better than the complete trash we were during the process, or do we actually want to be title contenders?
I know it's not realistic, but that's maybe because I'm not an NBA coach, and it's not easy. Like Brett Brown can't figure it out. He's been trying to figure it out for the longest. When he let Ben Simmons be the point guard, and he took a guard off the floor that was less shooting around Ben and Embiid, and so they struggled to score in the half court. Now he's putting an actual point guard on the court and Shake Milton and Josh Richardson and letting Ben play the 4, but now you got Ben just sitting in the corner, just taking up space on the court because he doesn't have the ball in his hand. He's just without it. They can't even – Ben Simmons, your best player, and Joel Embiid can barely run pick and roll together because the big man and the guard are going to drop to guard Embiid. And
to the paint.
God.
Yeah. They only
going to
wall
up on their ass. They're going to wall up on their ass quick.
Exactly. And they're not going to let Simmons take that 3 or mid-range jumper, whatever you want to take. So their offense I can't see there's not a realistic way for those two to function on offense. And that's why at this point, I feel like they're going to keep trying because you kind of got to keep trying when you have 2 guys of that talent on the same team. But ultimately, I think one of them ends up getting traded.
Yeah, what I'm saying, like, at what point that's my question. At what point do you, like, okay, because I'm pretty sure Joel and they both just signed Supermaxes, right?
Yep, pretty much. So
they probably both got, let's say, at least 4 years. Do you wait to the 3rd year right before that, that shit? The 2nd year? Like, when is enough?
I say maybe halfway through next season if things aren't better. The thing is, you got to get rid of the coach because he's the most expendable person in this equation. But then if you give it a new coach in and just run the same kind of problems, then you boot them. So it's probably like halfway by next trade deadline. One of them might be gone by next summer. One of them is definitely gone. That's my prediction. It's a year from now. But one of them will be gone.
And be for cat who says no.
And I'm gonna go back to something you said.
No.
I was about to say, I'm going to go back to something you said, Core, and you said it's going to take years. But the thing is, he's had years, and we haven't even seen slight improvement.
But it took him years just to take 1 3.
And it's not even, honestly, it's not even a fear of it not going in. It's like the guy won't even shoot. Like he literally won't take a jump shot. It's crazy.
They got the option of what Josh Smith had going on.
Yeah.
Mike D'Antoni about to get fired from the Rockets. They gonna hire him. They gonna make that nigga shoot.
That actually would be good. It'd be also hilarious or a decent trade, or maybe not a decent trade, but a trade that could possibly work is if you trade Ben Simmons for Russell Westbrook.
No. Scratch that. The Rockets lose in the first round. The owner says I'm blowing it up and starting over. You trade Russ to the Heat for them young players, and you trade Harden to the Sixers for Ben Simmons. So that way you will have Ben Simmons in Houston. Maybe you have like a Dragic and a Tyler Hero and a Duncan Robinson and a Bam. You have Russ in Miami with Jimmy Butler, and maybe they add another player. Then you have Joel Embiid, James Harden, Philly.
I'm gonna say what.
Imagine how unstoppable that would be.
I'm gonna keep it being with you. I'm keeping it being with you, Jordan. I think the Rockets love Harden and Westbrook. Like they love them niggas. I really.
Their owner don't. Their new owner don't.
Yeah, I don't know about Westbrook. Harden a different story. But like Russ got a pretty big contract. It's an unmovable contract, and if you get a chance to gain somebody who's a lot younger than him, like a Ben Simmons, if the Rockets get to the playoffs and they do typical Rocket thing and fold, then Russ is expendable.
Think about it, man. James
Not Harden.
What? 30?
Not Harden. Yeah.
What, he's 29, 30?
No, he's 30.
Y'all the playoffs every year. You miss the Western Conference Finals. The Warriors coming back next year. This is the only chance to get to the finals without going against Steph Curry. And the owner already said, I'm paying this coach, I'm paying this GM, I'm paying these 2 players max contracts. If we ain't winning, I'm blowing it up. He gonna blow it up, fam.
The coach the owner pretty much already said that if D'Antoni don't win this year, he done. He pretty much flat out told him. He told him that if you don't win, you're done. So
he put him on the what Jerry Krause told Phil.
He went
all
It's a
game you out of here, nigga.
It's a step below that. It's like if you don't win, only if you win the finals is the only way you staying here. That's the only way you staying here. So
that pressure.
That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
They're real tough.
So then Tony gone.
Hey,
pretty
man.
much.
I need Harden in Philly though. I need it.
No, I think that Tony. I know this is a completely off topic, but I really do think it is that Tony, because Harden. I wouldn't watch how he played. I watched the game from like 2014, 2015. That man plays so much different now
So good
compared to then. I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
But most of it is
wow.
like you could blame that Tony because he encouraged Harden to play that way. But
ISO ball. Yeah.
Harden got to be smart enough in his own self to realize that maybe this ain't the answer. Because like you said, you talk about how Chris Paul told him, like, "Hey, Harden." He told Harden, "I don't think this works," and Harden got offended and mad. And I'm like, "Nah,
get him out of here."
Like this is how I'm gonna play.
But if you James Harden and you going through and you breaking all these scoring records and you doing all this other stuff and people calling you the greatest scorer of all time, why change?
What's up?
Look, you would think that, but then look at Michael Jordan when they got rid of the coach that he won Defensive Player of the Year and MVP up under. That next year they bring in Phil Jackson. Who says, all right, yeah, Mike, yeah, this is cool, but this ain't gonna win you basketball. This is gonna get you accolades, but it ain't gonna win. Do you want to win or do you want these accolades?
Bringing in Mark Jackson.
You want scoring titles or you want NBA titles?
But who's gonna be that coach?
Bringing in Mark Jackson.
But who's gonna be that coach?
Bring in who?
Mark Jackson.
Man, I was watching Mark Jackson earlier. That nigga had Jerry Jackie in the clutch. That ain't what you. That ain't the coach you want, man. That ain't the coach. That ain't the coach.
Give Mark Jackson a job.
Man, it's the reason why that nigga been doing commentary for the last 5 years. It's a reason, Corey. Been playing the jobs open.
On me, that nigga, and he's always like on the candidate list for the job. And he just never.
He'll never get an interview.
He never
get an interview.
He'll never get the interview. They acknowledge
Tibbs and got 3 jobs under Mark Jackson.
They just announced
Rooney Rule, maybe.
They just announced that he a candidate just to remind you that he unemployed, but they never actually interviewed.
So that they remind you that he's still looking. He said he's not satisfied with TNT.
Hey man, Stephen A. Smith hop on ESPN every day. Mark Jackson has not been hired in 5 years. It's blasphemous.
Oh no! All right, guys, that's all I got. You guys got any closing thoughts?
Hey man, Zubac been out here balling. I want y'all to put some respect on his name. 20 and 15 on the Mavericks.
And that's another black coach that don't be understand. That ain't gonna get it right. Hate to say it.
Hey, man. He's saving Zubac for the playoffs. On the playoffs,
Zubac like 22. What you saving his legs? Nigga low man, just a 22-year-old.
Hey man, he getting ready.
I'll say this.
Ready, bro.
There's a growing sense that this might be Clipper fans being delusional that Doc Rivers hadn't showed his complete hand, and he just choosing not to show certain lineups.
He's waiting
so that it won't tip teams off. Like the Clippers, one of the Clippers' best lineups is Lou, Trez, Kawhi, and PG. And despite that being one of the best lineups we've had, they were using it a lot in the beginning of the season. During the second half of the season, he started he stopped using it. Also, I know last year we played Jermichael Green at the center against the Warriors. Never really did that in the regular season. Went into it in like game 1 of the Warriors, and him playing the center was a pivotal reason why we ended up winning 2 games against the Warriors. So it could be he playing possum. Could be. We won't know to the playoffs, but we'll see.
We're gonna find that.
We're gonna find out. Cam, DeLon, any other closing thoughts?
I guess not.
Yeah, he's selling shoes. Quick question, Core. How you feeling about the new Raw Wave album?
Wait, he just dropped another one?
The deluxe for Pray for Love.
Oh man, hey man. Y'all know I've been out the loop. I'm picking
He's snapping chord. Listen to it.
I got you.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people saying that he got them back in their feelings. So that's that's his lane. So,
that's that pain music, man.
It is.
All right,
man. What's up with all these deluxe albums this year? That's the real question.
Strange.
No one. Hey, who was the Baby's deluxe album? Not a fucking soul. Jacquees? Oh man, Jacquees. I was.
I listen. I ain't listen to the whole thing. I just listen to like select songs. My friends, like Rashad does. I have my friends send me the good stuff. So it was good. What I heard was good.
My friends send me the good stuff too.
Never mind. The crazy thing is, people say that this people I know on Twitter, they told me that this deluxe was actually better than the actual album. That's all I know. That's all I know. I haven't bothered to listen to it. I said that's gonna be something I just don't know. I'll take their word for it. I can't. I ain't subjecting myself.
You ain't gonna take it out. You gonna take it out.
I ain't subjecting myself to that. Nope. No, I'm okay.
Remember when Meg and the Baby were the hottest rappers at a point? And now,
yeah.
Wow.
Niggas want the Baby to go away. The Baby's still selling though.
Yeah. Baby, and coronavirus, you can't run around anymore. So we ain't talking about.
Why?
I don't know why, Cole, but I don't want to hear it.
I don't know why either, Cole. Oh God, I don't know.
Yeah, y'all know what it is. Label's been pushing them same 3 songs.
All right. Thank you all for tuning into the episode of the Popular Man Podcast. Tune in next week for another episode of your favorite podcast. See you then.